All right, we're back. How is everyone doing?
Good.
Good, thank you.
Good, good. Hey, it looks like a lot of people have been showing a lot of interest in the NuGet package. I'm looking at the telemetry here, and just since we released yesterday the very first beta release, community-driven kind of application, I'm seeing a lot of nice kind of adaptation. People are trying the library and doing all that kind of things. We only ranked now, we're in the second page now, so that's great, right? Yesterday we were in the third page. Now we're in the second page, which is not too bad, or twice. Yeah, there it is. So we're starting to come up, that chain. I mean, we have a long way to go because there are some other libraries that have like around, 50,000 and 40,000 and all that. But we've been there, Brian, right? We have libraries that have over 80,000. So this will be okay.
We'll
Um,
we'll we'll get there. We'll get
We'll
there.
get there, right? We'll get there. Especially that we were building the tools that we use. We're not just building a tool that's fun and then just walk away from it. And this is what I always tell people, build things with purpose, right? Don't just develop something that you think is cool while you will never need it. Build what you need for yourself first. And if you build it for yourself, a lot of people will come in and actually use it. And like I said earlier, like for the engineers out there, I'm trying to teach you this because this is the next evolution in technology. This is the next big thing. Truly, it's not crypto, it's not AR VR. Apparently, it's this. It's AI, and it's in every house. It's on every mobile app. It's on every phone. So it's really really important that you kind of pay attention to this. Of course, the team is still. I know Elbic and his group kind of working on fixing the images and whatnot. It's a little mystery, but we will get to it. We will get to it. I want to talk about a couple of things before we get started. I know that I shut down some PRs and left some feedback on others and all that. Um, I want to make it clear in the README of the standard repo, there are three things that are not optional to read. You have to read those before you contribute. If you open up a pull request and that pull request has something that obviously, contradicts with the standard or contradicts with our coding standard or contradicts with, the C sharp coding standards or the team standard, I won't approve it. I'm going to have to shut down your PR because it's hanging in there. But also at the same time, if you don't put the time and effort into reading the standard, I won't put the time and effort into reading your PR. It's just as simple as that. You're going to have to do some work, right? You want to contribute to this project? Yes. Go ahead and do the reading. Go ahead and do the learning. Go ahead and do the asking, right? And I'm more than happy. I mean, there are really tiny things that you can, look at and kind of go and fix and all that. Pick up these tiny things. The other rule is no PRs without issues. I see some people spin up PRs, but there's no issue to correspond to it, right? That's exactly how chaos is born. You create a chaos or chaotic product when people just kind of start throwing code up in the air that doesn't follow any rhyme or reason, right? You could have your own standard, you could have your own way of doing things, but every project has its own, especially standard compliant projects. They're very strongly adamant, and you will see, we'll just shut down a PR. We'll just say, okay, this is obviously someone who didn't read the standard, right? And didn't bother to put an issue to ask questions. So I'm just going to shut it down. Okay. Just to save everyone's time and to kind of make sure that, ideally I want these to be in the zeros. Like the ones that are open in terms of issues are the planning up ahead. Good morning, Sharaf and Diego. Okay, so there's that part, and I really appreciate, again, I appreciate the contributions from the community. There's a lot of great things going on. You're gonna have to put time and effort into reading the rules of contributions. You're gonna have to do that. Otherwise, we'll just not take your PRs. Okay, so okay, with that being said, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about, which is um, I need people to kind of to try the library. Don't just contribute code to something that you're not playing around with. Like we don't have QA, we don't have PMs, we don't have managers. We're just a bunch of engineers, right? Are we capable of self-managing? Are we capable of trying to bring in the best, you know, to the world by basically testing our own code? Yeah. How do you do that? You come up with an idea of a project that can leverage AI and go ahead and use OpenAI library in it, because that's the only way we'll be able to find issues in our library. And just for people out there, we're probably going to go and add performance test, right? We're going to go and say, okay, what's the best performance? But right now it's just really, really, as long as you just have foundation services, writing a performance test might not be that important, but there will be a point in time where we're adding the library as a foundation, but we're creating other libraries that does very specific things for certain businesses. And we will publish those too, right? So you can see here the pattern that we're going with. There will also be a time where we develop our own ASP.NET Core AI components. So instead of calling OpenAI API, you will be able to clone a repository and run AI locally without you having to pay for an API endpoint. That's also going to happen. So we're taking that whole spectrum, okay, we figured out how to work with AI. We have projects for it. We have all these cool things for it. That's great. We also want to allow you to understand how the core of this component works. So you're not working with this just black box. You don't know what's going there, this mystery box that's doing great things, but you don't know how it works. That's very dangerous. It's really important for you to understand how this works. And just so people know, there's this solo series, right? The solo series is just when I'm just talking to the camera, recorded, session where I basically start telling you, okay, here's the fundamentals of AI. Here's how we do the tuning. Here's how we do the modeling. What does it mean to train a model? What do all these things mean? What do all these things mean? Yeah, other than that, I mean, these are just the two issues off the top. Don't just open code randomly and expect people to kind of say, okay, nope, open an issue, discuss with the team, make sure that it makes sense, and then come back and, basically implement, and if you just ask in the channel, if someone says, hey guys, is there anything I can help with? I'll probably, me or Elbic or anybody else will assign a task for you. It will assign a task for you. Okay, Elbic, can you send a link to Kailu for this chat if you can? Kailu who? Okay, I forgot Kailu completely. That's too bad. See how I treat my best friends? Okay, so what are we working on today, Brian? Do you wanna tell us?
Yeah, okay. So today we're going to move on to chat completions, which is a little bit different to the completions. The models, even though they have very similar names, have completely different, not completely different, but they have different properties. So we have to handle them separately. We're going to have to make
Okay.
up another set of foundation models just for this particular endpoint.
Okay.
Now, I've done a bit of the homework for the team. If we go to the, I'll just share my screen.
Okay.
Just excuse me for taking a little while.
All right. Let's go,
So,
Parker. You got it.
on the issue 126, where we're just sort of initially discussing the foundations here, I've gone ahead and I've looked into the models and I've created all the models as I see it. They just need to be copied and pasted into the code. And I'm pretty sure I got everything right.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we've saved a bit of time with that. Okay. So where do we want to go? We want to start pulling these models across. How do you want to start, Hassan?
Yeah, let's just start with a basically just a data branch that just has the models in it.
Yep.
Kailu, did I forget you? By the way, Elbic, just so you know, the Man United, that's Kailu. That's why he said good morning from the Chinese guy. That's how you know.
What's that for?
Kailu, that's his PC. Yeah, he joins from his PC. You're on mute, Elbic and Kay. There we go. So what do you think, Elbic? Daniel says, why prefix it with external? Is that part of the standard? Why are we calling
Yeah,
it that?
we are just separating what is our model and what is the external model.
Mhm.
You know, while doing different integrations, I came across that the models are different. So for example, on the one side we might call it client, and on the other side they might call it customer.
Mhm.
So if we keep different naming conventions, for example, we have customer in our system and client in our system, it increases the complexity. So and a newly joined guy to the project might find it a bit harder to adjust when there are, for example, 20 models out there and you need to map different names to each other. So keeping that external and plus our model name would keep it much simpler. It's for me, and I guess that's easier for others as well.
That's right. That's right. If we keep our models the same as the API, that means every time they change their API models, we break all our clients. So
Mhm.
our local models play the role of abstraction layer between the customer, the external customer, and the external integration. Brian, do we call it external chat request, an external chat instead of completion, or what do you think? But they call it completion chat, don't they?
I was in. Oh, yeah. External chat makes things a lot smaller, but it is a completion, so we should be naming things clearly, I guess. It's really
Mm,
my
okay.
friend. Where do you want to go with that?
I'm okay with that. Unless
Mm.
Elbic or Kailu have any ideas. Kailu, are you there?
I'm here. I
Did
just
I did
lost my mic.
did I forget about you? Did I just
I hope you did not.
did I just take off? Did I take off and then look behind and I found you just waiting with your bag in the airport?
All right. I think to me, like these external models, right? I
Mm,
think we probably should honor the naming convention of wherever comes in,
yeah,
and then to our own model, then we can name wherever we want.
we can make it whatever we want. That's right. That's right.
Hmm.
Okay.
So, so really, they only call the model a completion, but it's a different completion to the other model. So, therefore, I think we need
So Brian, while you're
the
doing this,
chat
I'll
in front
I'll
of it.
take
Now, the other
yeah.
thing you guys did differently is, and I think we might have to revisit this, is you've named these ones.
Hmm.
Yeah, they should just be. They should be completion, external completion usage, external completion choice, in my opinion. So,
For the completions. Yeah, don't worry about completions for now. We just want to focus on the chats. But Brian, I'll take your screen
yeah,
for a second. I'll take your screen
but
for a second to go to the API reference, right, or documentation. Let's just see what's happening there. So if I go on to Playground OpenAI, and if I go on to the API references, and then there is the chat, right? So this example request here, that's the request, right? That's the request. They're basically selecting the model and then they have messages in there. So the model is kind of a bit different, isn't it? And they also have temperature, top P, end, stream, stop, max token. There's some similarity and some differences. Like this one specifically has messages in it, right? I think calling it a chat model is okay. Oh wait, they call it chat completion. Okay, that's fine. It's their model, so we want to honor, like Kailu just said, it's their model. We want to honor their kind of approach, and I think that's okay. Um, for the people who are not familiar, hey Ricky, can you hear us?
Yep.
Ricky, tell people who you are. Ricky has been working with me for a while now. He's one of the folks that have been contributing. I think Elbic knows him. Ricky, do you want to tell people about you a little? Where are you, by the way? I don't see you.
And yeah, I'm having some technical difficulties with the camera, so
Okay.
I'll show my face later on. No, I'm just basically I'm actually from Puerto Rico. It's actually 1 a.m. So bear with me right now because I'm kind of
Ev
groggy right now.
everyone is suffering for Brian. Everyone. Like Brian is the only one that he's just sitting in the sun, totally cool, and everyone is like, it's after midnight here. It's 3 in the morning in here.
And from the future, from what I heard, right?
Uh.
This is poetic justice for some other meetings I've been in with you. Okay, all those models are done, my friend.
Oh, I love it. Fantastic. So we have
Yeah.
external chat completion message, which is that internal part, and it has the role and the content. So you're basically saying, who are you and what's the content that you're posting?
Mhm.
And you have external completion choice, request, response. Oh my God, that's fantastic. Yeah. Uh, Elbic, quickly create a data issue for Brian Parker for this one because I created the broker, but I didn't create the data. Let's take this to the next level. Let's go. Let's see here. So that would be data and then just, all the models, external chat models or something like that. Thank you, Brian.
Number 153.
Now I can just
153. Will it let you if you do a hash?
no.
I don't see, I don't see the thing on the side. When does it appear and when does it disappear? Now, I honestly, it's, it gets a little confused because that's the problem that Elbic has as well, right? Elbic, do you have this
Yeah,
problem? Yeah. It's okay. Just push it and we'll create a pull request and, they can't defeat us.
I'll just make sure I hit save all.
Hey Ricky, how are your birds? Did you call them kikis or what?
The cookies. Cookies?
Cookies.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, cookies. Yeah,
Cookies?
that's how we call them.
I will never forget. Man,
Me
you
too.
know, you know what, Ricky? I love you, brother. You're awesome. It's just like I go back to these sessions, I'm like, this was hilarious. I'm just having a lot of fun with this brother right here.
Did you want that as a pull request or?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Pull request. Let's go to town. Sharp says it's 7:22 a.m. here and I could not sleep. Fantastic. Oh, you'll crash. You'll crash hard. It'll kick in. Your brain will start realizing that you're not drinking water or anything, and it's gonna get very, very interesting. Okay, create external. All right, let's do it. So just for the people watching, this is us creating the model. This is the model. This is the foundation of everything. I always tell people, once you are familiar with the standard, modeling is the hardest part. Once you figure out how to extract information, it's a whole section in computer science called modeling and simulation. And what this is all about is to be able to kind of resemble a problem in the real world onto a computer program. So what variables do you take? What variables do you honor? What variables do you not honor? And it goes on and on like this. So, okay, I'm going to the PR here. I don't expect, Brian, you did build on your side, so I think it should be okay. Um, so now, Elbic, this is your turn. So, Brian, we want to post, right? Do we want to post completion? And I think that's it. Do we need a get or anything?
No, we just need to post a chat completion. Yes, I don't know if we want to call it post completion or chat completion. I think it'll be chat
Yep,
completion.
post
Yep,
chat completion. That's right.
yep, yep.
Okay, Elbic, it's all yours.
We need
All right.
to maybe visit in the future posting a chat completion with a stream response, but that's another thing to tackle in the future.
Just so in case people are wondering, I'm not writing code anymore. I'll just sit down here and watch you guys, So I already showed you what to do. It's over. I'm just kidding. It's gonna be round robin all the time. We're always gonna be writing code together. All the time, all the
So
time. Right, Kailu? That's what we do. That's how we play.
Yeah, yeah.
I just share my screen.
Did you? Okay, let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah, so I went to the brokers, but before that, let me just quickly create a new branch.
That's kind of important.
Yeah, users, my username,
See, how come
brokers.
it shows up for him, Brian? So this guy's computer is weird. It's different because that box doesn't show up for me. I think it's settings or security thing.
This is, by the way, Visual Studio enterprise. Yeah,
What do you
not
think I
preview.
have?
Yeah, so you have the preview version,
I have them
and that's
both.
oh yeah, really.
Okay, I think. Anyway, I think it's.
I think it is security settings. I was noticing my dialogues were coming up yesterday as well.
Yeah. Oh, in your case, it'll be post Elbic. You're still honoring the RESTful API lingo, right?
Oh yeah,
Wait, you
that's
can rename your branch? What kind of sorcery is this?
open AI broker. So we call it chat completions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it's still not doing the nesting for you, which is really annoying.
Yeah, so we can
Bro,
fix
go
that really
again. Let's go again. Let's do that drop down on the right side. The drop down,
yeah, so standard
and
web.
then web. There you go.
There you
You're tripping. I'm telling you.
So
There isn't
our
enough water in this guy's system. He's just completely out. All right. Okay. I need to stop making fun of people while drinking tea, and it's gonna hit me hard tomorrow in the morning. I'll be like, okay, fine. Okay. So external completion. So we're gonna need yeah.
so value task
Hmm.
and model is external completion. External
Response.
chat
Chat completion.
completion.
Yeah. Response. I love it. Hmm.
So
And then post chat completion async, right?
and we get external. Yeah, let me make it smaller. Request just like this.
How long is it now? 120 something?
114. It's
Okay,
good.
good. Right there. Right at the sweet spot. Don't forget copyrights. Don't forget the
Hmm.
you know the drill. Someone well, while Elbic is doing this, someone posted an editor file,
Yeah,
right, to kind of add a lot of these things and do all the I don't want that. That's another principle in the standard that we kind of try to enforce. I want that editor to be here in your head, right? So even if you're writing on a notepad plus plus or notepad, you still can enforce these rules. If you rely on the toaster, eventually you become just a toy in its hand. It's basically telling you what to do, and you have no idea why you're doing it anymore. You're just doing what the toaster is telling you, but you have no reasoning behind it. Also, it hurts a lot with code reviews, and it hurts a lot with projects where you don't have that editor. It just becomes this is a fundamental thing that we do with these projects, is that we intentionally invoke manual work for learning purposes, for allowing people to kind of grow with the standard, and kind of allow themselves to kind of engage that muscle that's starting to, Brian, like people's spatial memory is almost non-existent anymore. Have you noticed? Like, today, if you go out on the street and tell people, "Oh, just go north," they'll be like, "Where is north? What is north?" Right? Because it's all on the app. It's all on the Google Maps, right?
yeah,
So they have no idea. Like, this is not, you know, I don't think that's the relative URL. What is it? What's the real? Is it slash
yeah.
completion slash? It's either slash completion slash chat
I think
Mhm.
or.
it's got a slash chat in there. I know that. Yeah.
And usually Elbic, we put that in a constant, but because we only have one method,
Mhm.
we're not bothering. But once we start using multiple, like I know for a fact with model tuning, I think that's gonna be the next one, Brian, right? So completions, chats, and then edits or model tuning, something like that. I think that's uh-huh.
I dropped the URL in private chat, Elbeck,
All
the
right,
endpoint.
thank
Yep.
you. So we're gonna have request and result, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Our result is this. Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. Today I was drawing without a map, and I felt uncomfortable.
You just especially with the younger folks, Elbic, back in my day, we used to just stop on the side of the road and ask someone, be like,
Yes.
"Hey, where's that place?" And they usually give you wrong directions, and you just keep going in circles until you find it. Anyway, Sharaf says about toasters. What do you think about GitHub Copilot? So I really briefly saw a screenshot of it. Is it the one that explains the code for you in natural language? Is that right, Sharaf? Is it chat or chats, Ilbik? Check the URL that I'm checking the URL for you right here. So it's slash chat. Oh, it's chat slash completions. Okay, you're fine.
Hmm.
That's a terrible naming convention, by the way. It should be plural, singular,
Yeah.
plural, singular. Yikes. Okay.
And I guess I need to change this completion request to be consistent. So chat completion request,
Yes. Yeah.
just like this.
Yeah. Be as verbose as possible. Um, there was I don't know what did they call it, Brian? Hungarian notations, where people were just putting the first three letters. So instead of button, it's BTN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know that one.
Yeah.
So I think it's good to go. What do you think? So I
Yeah,
have
there's a
the
question here where Daniel says, why is it hard coded? Well, when there is a new version, then we create a new class, and the new class will be V2. That's how we do it. It's their backwards compatibility right there. Okay, is it good?
Yeah.
No, I
I
don't
think
think
so.
so.
Why?
You're gonna need to write a quick program that tests it.
Oh, really?
I will do that part. Push that one
All
upstream.
right. All right. So brokers, host, chat completion.
Okay, Brian, this is a moment of truth. I'm gonna kind of try to post a chat in there, and then we'll see how that goes. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, you're good?
Yeah, I sent it. Or
Okay, let's take this. So I'm just gonna go on to the pull requests area here, and I'm gonna go on to where's the pull request, bro?
oh, put request. Yeah, give me a second.
Oh, this is gonna be a long day.
Yeah, there.
You're
I'm
in?
creating.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, there we go. So post chat completion. Do a quick build locally on your side, please. Elbic, run the tests and all that, just so I don't have to wait for the whole thing to
All
happen in
right.
here. This is, post async. You did the relative URL chat completion request. You got back the response. Beautiful, beautiful. And then because we're not yet at the point where, we have services and integrations and all that good stuff, I'm gonna have to test this manually. I wanna see this, kind of happening manually, and see if it actually kind of pulls in the
Yeah, it's
data
good.
that we need. Is it good?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm merging this in. I'm gonna go back to Visual Studio here real quick to test this. Let's test it together. Let's see if we can chat with this thing. And let's see if we can make it. And of course, for the people who cloned this library before, your clone probably is not gonna work anymore because we changed the name. So all of us had to kind of get a fresh copy from main, because we changed a lot of things. We changed the actual name of the project. So Visual Studio will tell you, I can't pull any more data. That repository doesn't exist anymore. Visual Studio is not the nicest when it comes to giving you these messages. It literally logs an error message somewhere in a tab at the bottom, and it doesn't pop up a message or anything. So you wouldn't notice it unless you're actually looking and seeing whether your code is actually matching or not. Okay, I need a project, just a dummy thing that actually have access to the system. Just gonna create a delete me file in here. I'm just gonna stick it in here. Just something real quick for us to test that this thing is happening, right? So I'm just gonna go here. I'm gonna go and say fact public, or maybe I should do it in the unit test because this guy has a server that starts up and a whole lot of things are going on. Look at all these tests that we have. Oh my God. It's almost like we're obsessed with testing. What is this all about? Yeah, I'll just put one in here and then we'll delete it. So what I'm trying to do here is basically is to test this. So here's a task should run. You should delete me really async. And then we need our API configurations. I'm just going to steal the one that we have in our integration tests, really. I'm just going to take this one here. I'm going to take this whole guy here. Right. Why don't I just replicate this? Yeah, that would be much better. Here we go. Okay, and what I want to do here basically is just to run a quick test on the broker itself, right? Well, this guy doesn't have access to the broker. I don't want to mess that up, so let me just go back here and copy this guy. I'll copy this guy here. And then I'm gonna go in the test here and paste this. Okay, so instead of a completion request, I'm actually just sending the actual external completion. So chat external completion like this. So here's new external chat completion request. And what's the mandatory ones here, Brian? Just the roles, just the messages and the
model.
messages. Yeah, so external chat message. Is it an array of messages? It's an array of
Yes.
messages. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, okay. And then in here we basically say external completion chat completion message, which has role, let's say AI, and a content. Well, let's start with human, right? And the content here is like, how are you doing, right? And we expect that there will be another role. Maybe if I created, so Brian, do I just create another one in here that's empty for the AI, or do I just leave it empty?
I'm not sure. I think you leave it empty, my friend.
Leave it empty like this? Okay, sounds good. And then probably I need a model, right, on top of this. What is it, Elbic?
Yeah, I was reading through the documentation. It says the first message should be the role of a system, and you should tell who it is, who the system is. So you should say, for example, system, and you are the chatbot for
In the
let's say
content
staffing.
area.
Yeah, you are the
Okay.
chatbot for
Okay.
staffing person.
So okay, a human being interacting like this being interacting with AI, and this is AI and a robot talking to
Oh,
the human being like this.
no, the role should be system. So you tell the system who it is.
But I can change the role, right? I can make it anything I want, right?
Oh yeah.
No?
So based
So
on the example, there's around system, then they use a user and then an assistance and a user again, where the user usually is where you ask the questions. The bot. Yeah.
So these roles are predefined. We can't just come up with
Yeah.
ones.
At least from what I'm seeing here in the documentation.
I think you guys are wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be the arrogant prick, and I'm gonna do it my way and see if it works. Okay.
The models are posted in the private chat. There's a choice.
Okay, so model in here. What's it? So ChatGPT 4. I like ChatGPT 4. It's cool. Like this, you just do this, and that's it.
Yes.
Okay, and I think the last one we need. Do we need anything else? We need probably stream temperature, user presence penalty. Nothing. That's it. So this content is actually okay. I was right. Okay, human. How are you? And then the AI, yeah, because I know how the completion model, I think I know how the completion model works underneath. I think that's how this is gonna work. If this works, you guys, you should be grateful.
Yeah, it should
So
probably work because
there,
it says we don't care about that first system message anyway.
okay, cool. Look how AI is writing this for me. It's trying, right? It's trying its very best, right? But it's not gonna work because I am actually looking for the broker. So this is the um, um, we need to initialize the broker itself. So var AI broker equal new, and then OpenAI broker, and then I need a configuration. So API configuration, because we're building this without using the whole full thing of the library, right? And we need a new key. At some point, someday, I will stop putting my keys out there in public. Maybe someday, I don't know. I could use Brian. We should probably talk about also the new way you found out without having to set the environment variables and stuff like that. But so there's this broker, and then I want this API broker here, or AI broker like this, and we want to post complete. No, not this one. Post chat completion. You should probably call it request because you're posting a request, right?
Mhm.
So take that as a code run. Elbico.
Yeah, I was in the comments. Can you repeat that? I'll create issue
What
for
are
it.
what are you looking at? What's in the comments? What are people
I'll
saying?
say.
It's the only thing that holds the conversation context. I think the array is the message chain. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So if we understand how the completion model works underneath, that's pretty much what this is, right? So anyway, let me kind of generate a quick API key here for this. We are really playing with this API. It's really fun. So here's a key. I'm not even gonna put organization this time just to see how things work for us. And I'm gonna go here and run this and let's see what happens. I'm gonna put a breakpoint in here and then I'm gonna do a debug and let's see. Here we go. Ah, we have a failure here. Let's see what it says. The model GPT-4 does not exist. Any suggestions?
I copied that straight out of the link.
Yeah,
There, right
don't believe the documentation.
there.
I just love how like I think this is good. It's see how it's communicating response not found
Mhm.
exception. So we will map it for us to an entity not found or something is not found. You know, it's beautiful. I love how RESTful Sense is just giving you the deal, the whole deal. It's pretty cool. It's not exactly where I want it to be, but it's better than a lot of APIs that I worked with.
Do you want to
What do you think? Yeah.
try Chat GDP3, one of the GDP3 turbo ones?
Oh yeah, let's try that. So I'm looking at the private chat here. GPT 314. Let's do that. That guy here. Let's do that.
Yeah, I'm confused about this naming of models. There are
This is gonna
GPTs
be the worst. Yeah, yeah.
and there are Da Vinci's, Babbage's.
Doesn't exist. We're missing something. We're missing something. What does this model look like underneath? So if you look into the external, see this is important. You gotta test everything. So this model, let's go to the playground and see what the heck is going on here. So API references, I'm gonna take this screen here over here and let's go to the chats and they're giving us, I see GPT 3.5 turbo, whatever. I'm gonna try that and see if that works. We really gotta figure out a way to hard code because people are just gonna walk away, be like, I don't understand it. I'm stupid. This library is making me feel stupid. You know, I'm not, you know, it's not helping me, right? I know that what's this brother name? Diogo Duaret. He has a proposal. He has a proposal open PR. I just asked him to do just a tiny change there. I think that will fix things for us. I think that might fix the problem. So maybe that'll work. See, even dude, even the freaking example that's in literally in the in the example is not working for us. So this is where we have to go and resolve to Postman to actually try raw without any of our work to see if we even know how to make a successful request. And we should probably start with that, you know, usually, but I'm just gonna open up Postman here and try this out and see why this is happening. Because obviously we are making a successful contact with the API, right? But it's not going where we want it to. Okay, here's Postman. Let's go back here. I'm literally gonna take their example, like play by play. So they call it V1 chat / completions, right? And in here, I'm basically going and saying, take away all this. And here's messages. I'm just gonna take, like literally, I'm just gonna copy the example. So I'm gonna go here in the example area. I'm just gonna post this guy here. Like this. Oh, sorry. This whole thing. So that's their example. Right? And then I'm also gonna put the authorization token header in here. So here's the key. Oh, come on. Here you go. Here's the key. Like this. And I'm doing a post. It's going to the right direction. Let's go here. So this is responding. This is basically coming back and saying role assistant. So this it's definitely something in our mapping that's causing this to happen, right? Do I need to update RESTful sense? I don't think so, because it's doing the skipping for me. I'll give you one better. I'll just go and say here is, so this is messages, role, and content. So their API is fine. Something in our code that's not doing the right thing. So let's see here. Okay, so messages in the API, we said messages. And it's an array, and it takes external chat completion message, which is two things, which is role and content, right? If I go here and say, okay, fine, take just one, and just kind of shooting in the dark here, user, and the user says hello, right? So here's the user, and the user says hello, like this. And post chat completion async, this guy is going to v1/chat/completions. That should be okay. And you are returning a, hold on a second. Yeah, this is good. This is chat completion response, post chat completion async. So let's see here if I debug this, if we get anything outside of it. If the name of the people is changing, that would be quite interesting. Like if the name of the roles and content is why this is not working, that would be very, very interesting. Oh, you're not kidding. So, well, that's a bad thing because well, it's not a bad thing. It means that you and Ricky were right.
I think the error was very misleading, but
The
yeah,
error is garbage. The
yeah.
error is garbage. And I think, wow. So, how do we protect the people that will be using the library from doing this? Because this is going to be something upstream. Like, apparently, so look. Oh, wow. Is it really it? Is that what it? So if I say human in here and I go and do this, it will freak out? That's a really, really, really bad design. My God. And the message is the most misleading thing in the world. No. Right now it's starting to say something. Human is not one of system assistant user. This is a good message. But that's not what I was getting originally.
Could you try adding another
Yeah.
message? Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is why we're gonna have to write our own API. Seriously. Seriously, dude. Yep. And the message is no, now all of a sudden it just decided to give me a completely different response. Chaos. Real chaos. I'll even do this. I'll do one better. I'll just Control Z my way back to this. Right? That's literally the last thing I did, right? So if I do debug here, my God. Mm.
I'm at a loss right now.
Dude, you know how Einstein says, I think it's Einstein who says stupidity is to do the same thing and expect different answers? I
Uh,
think he's wrong. ChatGPT proves him wrong. Dude, I'm very grateful that this is recorded. That's the exact same request that we just made, and I'm getting two different answers. That's hilarious. Diego says they were watching the stream and they ran and went and fixed it. You know, it's not far from the truth. This is very possible.
So can we get the chat? Can we get the Chat GDP4 model working now?
Yeah, but you know, Ron asked the question. Ronald asked the question. He said, "Weren't you saying human in here?" No, I wasn't. I just said I literally copied their example. So if I said human in here and I posted this, oh, now all of the sudden it's perfect and it's giving you perfect answers. That's ridiculous. I swear to God, dude, that's nonsense. I don't know. Maybe they fixed their API. I don't know. Let's just say that they went and fixed it. Okay. And if you guys are watching, I'm gonna build my own API because I'm done with your BS. You know. Anyway. So okay, fine. So Brian, were you saying let's try a different model in here?
Yep.
So the Chat GPT-4, right? Let's do that. So I'm gonna take this out. I'm just gonna say here and say user. So these are predefined models. Can we make our own, or are these just the same? They're always gonna be the same.
Yeah, I send you a part of the documentation and the private chat, and from
Okay.
what I'm seeing, it's only system user or assistant. So
Well, that broke. Why? That guy says GPT-4 does not exist.
Yeah, I guess we can only access the models that you can see in your playground.
I have access to GPT-4. Let me show you. I'm paying
In
Pro.
playground.
Yeah.
but it does say it's limited beta.
Oh, so we don't have access to it or something. So where is it? Fine tunes GPT-3 codex. Yeah, I got nothing. Do they
Yeah, in
have
the
chat?
chat. Yeah, in the chat,
Show
different
more models. So there's only turbo. So how do we access this beta stuff? A question to think about. Okay. But now the real question here is you want to protect, okay, our library is still allowing, even though it's protecting the users from, you know, having a leakage of the models of the API, we're still allowing this chaos to transcend to our end users that will be consuming these libraries because we're not telling them what models they can use. And if we propagate this upstream and the user doesn't select a role, you know, it's going to be a huge problem down the road. So maybe enum, Brian, maybe enum is the way to go. Like on the local model, we will allow enums, but it's going to bite us really bad later when they update their APIs with new roles and new models, and we don't know what to do with it. So struct is a good option. It's just not the best option out there. But I'm just going to leave it up to the group to kind of think about what would be the solution there. Because go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I know that for a fact that there will be a point in time where you have to basically go and say, you know, is your library extensible without code changing, right? Is it dynamic enough? Can I just pass my own? Like I know with the models, it's definitely a no-no to use enums because literally the next sprint we will be creating fine-tuned models that we will use back into completion. So 100% of the time that we will be using a customized model that is not predefined. So your enum is not going to hold any water there. With the user roles, what's the deal? Are they going to allow people to create their own users and their own roles? They should, you know, if they want this to actually be business driven by business and all that kind of stuff. But overall, I am out of options. Let me go to the PR that Diego opened up, and Diego, so I hope I'm saying his name right. You know, hey, Ricky, can you read his name and tell me? I see Diogo. Is that right? Is it Diogo? Is that how I say his name?
I would not know.
You don't know?
Diego, it's a totally different way of writing it. So yeah,
Diogo, we don't know how to say your name.
Diego. Okay.
Diogo, okay, cool. All right. He opened up a PR here that's worth looking at. He created the struct and he basically went and said, hey, here's all the models. That's probably the only route we have available at the moment because I don't know of any other option. And it's such a shame because C# is a great language, but it's failing us heavily here at this point in time.
So Hassan, could you quickly explain this again? Like, what was the main issue, and why can't we just use struct or enums like this?
So you want to allow when you're passing, let me kind of explain this problem high level, and it's a huge problem. Like I said, if someone solves this, I'll give you $25 Amazon gift card. You're solving a problem for me that I've been personally struggling with. You see this model in here. You see how many times we had to go back and forth to find the right model? And oh, this is wrong. Oh, this is beta. You can't use it. I want this to be autocomplete. I want to go here and say models.chatgpt4 and know for sure that it's going to give me the right stuff. I want it to make it hard-coded and strongly typed. Okay, today, but at the same time, while I still can do this, I also want to allow customization. So I'm basically asking for a model that can be both a string and it can also be another type. This is why Steph, the guy who developed WireMock, developed a library called any_of. And in his library, he says, hey, you can pass a string or an enum. That's why his library is freaking awesome, because he's basically saying, okay, you're in this situation where you're expecting something to be a string, but also it can also be. The only problem with this is that I can't pull his library in a core business logic because it's external. So we're gonna need to find the native option.
I also saw he used like a Fluent builder for something like that, but I was kind of at a loss of what was the purpose of this. So you just want to autocomplete the models basically when you're just typing it. Is that it?
Yeah, but you lose the auto completion. Like I want to be able, when you have an enum, right? You have an enum,
Yeah.
right? And this enum has a bunch of options. And when you use that enum, it just completes it for you. That's really important for the engineering experience. You know, he had a Diogo says, with my previous PR suggestion, we could have the autocomplete and also pass a string, but I tried it, it didn't work out. By the way, Visual Studio will trick you, Diogo. It will make you think that this is the option, but it's IntelliSense that's saying, hey, this is the last option you used last time. A lot of people tried that one. I don't know, it doesn't work. We really tried. I tried it on my side, at least.
The closest I came was a enum, and with an extension method for the enum to convert it to a string, and that way you could say equals enum as model, and that'll return a string.
Anyway, my challenge still stands. I need someone to help me out with this because apparently I'm not good enough in C# to solve this problem, and it's ridiculous, but that's the case. Daniel says build process that queries to get model API but generates the struct and can be rerun anytime you want to update. So you want to basically build a bot that basically goes and says, let me go query the API. Yeah, that's a good idea. That could work. Could work. But then you're gonna need to publish, Daniel. It's gonna have to push, release, publish, roll a new version, because this is a NuGet package that's out there in the world. So whatever copy people have, unless we're working with something like Rust or Go, do you guys? I think one of them, I don't know if it's Rust or Go. You don't have libraries. You just point to the repository, and every time the repository changes, your library is changing. There's no publishing. It's a very weird paradigm. Sounds like a recipe for a disaster, but there is that. Okay, so that's the challenge. I mean, we figured this out. If the roles are predefined, and I don't know what their literature is, just a request out there for people to see, are they gonna allow, they definitely gonna have to allow us to add our own roles, which basically means that we're gonna have to go back to square one with the models and basically go and say, okay, if that's the case, then how do I how do I make it seamless for people? How do I make it better, to do these things? And I think it's here in the messages. The message goes chat format, and the chat format is role system assistant, and you're having this conversation. Okay, can we define our own roles? Custom. Yeah, for now, you just don't have other than what they give you. Each message has a role. Yep, but it's definitely going to happen. They're going to definitely allow you at some point in time, to do that. So that's a discussion probably Kailu, will engage with Elbic and the rest of the team to kind of build the services tomorrow. But for today, I think we have a good stopping point here. So we basically, Elbic, you did attach the broker PR to the proper issue, right? Yeah. Okay. So that basically means that in our project or in our progress, yeah, this is complete. So that means the next thing is to build the foundation service. Kylo, are you up for it tomorrow? We'll do it all together, but you'll just kick it off. Yeah?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do the
So,
hard part.
so what if somebody wants to do the foundation service from the community? Do they need to
I
stick
am
with CodeWraps for now?
Ideally, I want to scale out. What that basically means is that I want people to, I will let this one kind of go through the stream, but then moving onwards, we're gonna create all the features that we want and let people
Hmm.
spin up controllers and brokers and stuff like that. So right after this round, or I can
Hmm.
even start writing user stories. I want someone to do the edit. I want someone to do the fine tuning model. I want someone to go investigate the stream. These are the big pieces that we want people to kind of develop. But, again, the reason why we're recording this and we're showing people this because do you remember with OSSS and Ta'arafo and all these systems, people would just go and write the code and everything in one shot. No test driven, no pure contract, no pure commit. Just give me everything in one shot. So please read the contribution rules because if you don't, I'll shut down your PR. I just don't have the time. If you don't have the time to read my documentation, I'll just shut down your PR. I'll be like, okay, he didn't even bother to read a couple of pages about how to push this code. Sergio says, morning all, there is an issue open for the problem with autocomplete. Elbic, do we have an issue for it?
Yes, it's data create struct for model. So let me
Put
share
it
it.
put it in the chat for Sergio and for the rest of the team, please.
Hassan, can I be added as a contributor?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. So let's go here. Here's our and just for the people watching, like either way, if you want, like whether you contribute, because someone brought this up to me today, whether you're a contributor or not, you still can push, just fork the thing and add the world and everything will happen there. But let's see here. This is our, what is it, 14? This is how you log in, and then what
And if you are
what were you, Ricky? Is it Ricardo Cruz, right?
freelance,
Yeah,
Freelance.
our crews just put our crews freelance. Yeah.
There you are. Nice picture though. I didn't know you updated your picture. When did that happen? Huh?
This is a few months ago.
Oh my God. Look at this guy. By the way, just so you guys know, this guy's as big as a barn. He's 6 feet tall. So I don't mess with this guy. It's good to see you, Ricardo. I'm really happy that you're back. I appreciate it.
Happy to
Also,
be back.
tell me who that photographer is because I want to take a picture like that.
It was I actually was like not even trying. It's like I'm not really good at pictures, so I
It's
just
it's a
said
great picture.
I don't
I
care for
love it. I love it. It's a great picture. I love it. I love the picture. Okay, people, that's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow to do some test-driven development. Elbic, we're just gonna, I'm gonna create the issues for the brokers for edits, the brokers for but just expect a heavy kind of, I'll let you be reviewing these PRs. The same thing for you, Daniel, Brian, everybody. Just feel free to review the PRs. If it makes sense, push through. If it doesn't, then block the PR. If you see something that violates the standard, a tiny thing is okay. Something obvious, like someone creating, I don't know, handlers and stuff like that. What is that? Is that a broker? Is that a service? Please don't invent shit, because that's literally how chaotic systems get created. Okay. I appreciate you all. Thank you all so very much. Talk to you later. Take care.
Hey.
See ya.